some sort of gang activity going on each day after school. Sometimes it starts out with sticks. Beatings take place.
New England Journal of Medicine says 1 in 3 Americans use non-traditional medical therapies each year, spending an estimated $13.7 billion. The National Institutes of Health has even opened an Office of Alternative Medicine. What is the role of alternative medicine in today's society? Joining me is Dr. Randy Martin. He's a doctor of Oriental medicine, an acupuncturist, and has extensive training in nutritional counseling, herbal medicine, and homeopathy. Thank you for joining us this morning. A wide range of things that you specialize in. Are more people becoming acceptant of alternative medicine?
Oh, very much so, very, very much so. I'm getting calls daily from people who just don't know quite anything about alternative medicine or what is holistic medicine, homeopathy, naturopathy, with just loads and loads of questions. They see something, an ad in the store, or they see an article here. More and more there's articles appearing in all the well-known magazines now in homeopathy, naturopathy, acupuncture. People are always calling, is it good for this? Can it help this? Can it help that?
So really what you're finding is that people have a problem, they've maybe tried something and it isn't working for them. I mean, that's what it sounds like. Can it help this or that? They obviously have a problem.
Yeah, there's actually 2 different types of people. One kind of person has tried other things and it hasn't really worked. The other type of person just doesn't want to use drugs or chemicals and wants more of a natural approach, more of an aware type who tends to eat well to begin with and exercise and diet and all this, and they just want to take it one step further. So it's probably 50-50, my practice, with the people who are more aware to start with, and then those who just have given up on the traditional side and want to try something a little bit safer and possibly a little more effective, too.
Okay. I want to tell you the story, and I mentioned it to you just briefly. Walked into a thrifty drugstore the other day, and there they had this whole big shelf full of homeopathic medicines. Now, I was familiar with it, having talked to you before. I was very, very surprised that a well-known traditional type pharmacy would carry that type of product. Are we going to see more of this? We're
definitely going to see more. I was actually in on the training of the pharmaceutical reps who were marketing the homeopathics to the pharmacies, and they're all very excited about it. The market is there. Of course, it wouldn't be there if there wasn't money to be made in it. And the consumers are beginning to have more and more of an effect by demanding safe, effective, inexpensive types of treatments without side effects. People don't want to have to get drowsy or worry about aspirin and this and that and the other thing, Tylenol, and what negative effects it might have in the long run. They'd much rather take white willow bark for their headache if it's going to work and know that there's going to be no negative side effects at all.
And what about some of these products that we might stumble across? And now, of course, everyone's going to go running to the pharmacy to see if they carry them, but what might we expect to see remedies for what types of problems?
The basics to start off with: pain relief, perhaps some high blood pressure medications, definitely the cold and flu. So we're going to have cold and flu, headaches, maybe constipation, ulcers, low back pain. Some of the more common problems are going to be what they target first.
Okay, cold and flu, I got to stop there first because everybody's got the cold and flu. This has just been an awful season, knocked a lot of people out. What types of products are available and how do they treat more or less the things that we take over the counter now, basically just kind of mask our symptoms until the thing goes away?
Exactly.
Is that the similar thing that
No, not at all. See, the difference is that both the traditional products, the pharmaceuticals, supposedly get rid of the problem, and the homeopathics do too. But the big difference is that the homeopathics, when they're getting rid of the problem, they actually strengthen immunity, strengthen the immune system, so that the antibodies are there in the body to fight it off. Right. So even if someone did have to take, let's say they got a bad strep throat and they did have to take antibiotics, which one doesn't always have to take when they're doing homeopathy, but if they were on antibiotics, why, they can also do herbs and homeopathics at the same time, because the antibiotics don't strengthen the immune system, they only kill what is unwanted. Mm-hmm. But the homeopathic approach strengthens the immune system at the same time. And you know, after you have a cold or flu or a strep throat or whatever, you take the antibiotics, or, you know how long it takes to recuperate? Oh. Usually it's 2-3 weeks before you're up and your normal self again. But if you're doing a homeopathic and an herbal approach, once it's gone, and you're right back to work a couple of days later, because we were working with the white blood cells and the whole immune system, the whole defense mechanism in the body all along. So the energy's right backing up. And the cold doesn't last as long, even if you do get it. So many of my patients come in and say, after they've been getting acupuncture for 3-4 months, they go, you know, everybody in my office is sick with a cold, and I haven't got it. And I go, yeah. And I just sit there and listen, because that's what everybody says every year. Interesting. What is in the homeopathic medicines that we might stumble upon? Well, they're made out of either plant, mineral, or animal products. So chamomile, as in the tea, might be a typical one. Another one might be onion, common onion that you chop at home that causes watery eyes and a runny nose. Well, that's a homeopathic remedy that's used for colds when you get a runny nose and a lot of mucus and watery eyes and feel very congested up in the head. Because when you chop the onion up, that's the kind of symptoms it causes. So you use the homeopathic remedy that causes, in its normal form, the very symptoms that you're trying to get rid of. The important thing to remember is, even if you're using a remedy like homeopathic arsenic, which has not even one molecule of arsenic in it, is that they're totally safe. Okay, that was going to be my next question. Obviously, none of this is going through the FDA or anything like that. Oh, actually, all homeopathic remedies are okayed by the FDA for years and years and years. There's the United States Pharmacopoeia, and it's all totally approved. So the fights that we're seeing now relative to the vitamins and herbs, that there's some dispute as to whether the FDA is going to take them off the shelves or this and that and the other thing, that isn't applying actually to homeopathics. Because homeopathics have been approved by the FDA from the start. And as homeopaths, we have our own committee that's been working with the FDA for years. Great. So it's real different. Very interesting. Good. Let's stop on that thought. We'll need to take a break. We'll be right back.